Let's do a comparison and see what it's like to implement a multiplexer using the if statements and then with a ternary statement. So I've already got the code written all out, and I just kind of want to look and see what's happening here. So first, let's look at the if statement, which is kind of a procedural construct here. And of course, since the output is being modified by an always at statement, we've got this reg here. Right, because output is being modified inside of an always at statement. So we've got a reg there. And so if x0 changes, x1 changes, or c changes, then we're going to run the code inside this begin and end statement. And it's just a quick check. If c equals 1, then x1 is connected to our output. So whatever is at x1 also gets set to our output. Otherwise, or else, then we're going to run this line. It's super basic, I know, right? This is just like any other programming language you might know. The only thing is, or I guess not the only thing is, but something also similar with other programming languages is normally when you only have one line after an if statement, you don't have to have brackets around it. And also, the same is true here with Verilog, where if we were to do two things here, we would put a begin and end statement around the lines for this if statement. So that's doing things with if, or if then else statements in our procedural specification. Now, down here, we're doing it with the ternary operator. And so this code right here, there is one mistake that I can see. Maybe there's more, but I can see at least one mistake. I wonder if you can see the mistake. Okay, did you find it? All right. So the mistake here is this reg doesn't need to be here. The reg is only used when you have an always at statement. So out is what's being modified here, but it's not being modified in a procedural block. So we can actually remove that. And now let's see how this ternary statement is read. Remember, this does the same exact thing as this all right here. It just kind of does it in one line. And it's best when you're trying to figure out what to assign to a variable. That's really when you want to use ternary statements. So the way you kind of read this in your mind is we say, what do we want to assign to out given this condition? So what do we want out to be given c equals 1? If this condition is true, if c does equal 1, then output equals x1. If this condition is false, then out equals x0. So it basically says, if this is true, then write this guy over to the output. If this is false, meaning c is 1, or c is 0, then write this over to the output. So this ternary statement is a little bit, well, the syntax might be a little harder to get around. This is a lot easier for your brain to just read. But what's nice is you can do things in a single line. This statement can be used inside of an always at statement if you want. You just don't use the assign, and in that case, output would have to have a reg before it. But you can also use it outside of always at statements. And it can just make your code look a little bit more compact and really nice for this thing where you've got two choices for what you want to assign in your output to be based on a condition. And though it is possible, it's very highly not recommended that you start nesting ternary operators. It can get very confusing very fast.